There are teachers out there that have left footprints for a very long time. In the recent people like Filthy Frank, like PewDiePie, like Ray William Johnson, even they are doing their part. Ralph Smart, it's a YouTube channel. There's people out there that really know what the fuck they're talking about, and some of it's bullshit because they want to see if the people that they're educating are following them blindly. All that being said, I don't know if my voice is to be heard or not, but I wrote some shit down, my tonight's writings. I also have a book. I'm going to try to just read my notes a little bit and talk directly about this. Start with my poem for tonight. I rested for a day, didn't come up with much to say, but I gave thanks anyways to pray, because we are blessed and live every day. Thank the process for guiding this way. Now I sit and dwell on nothing, so that's all is well. The music carries on. Everyone gets to sing their song. This is my truth that I can't take to the grave, so I hope to inspire more into this play. I really want people to know, like, this isn't about me. It is about me, but it shouldn't be about me, because I'm persistently trying to avoid vanity because of the path to divinity and blah, 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 blah. What did I write down here? But yeah, anything. There are many masters who can see and achieve much more than me, for I have much to earn and discern. The soul, it still so yearns. But anything you'd ask me, I'd try to come through. But there are teachers that don't you see? They're all around you. I'm just a new kid. I don't really know shit. I'm just figuring out how to get a handle on it. I have written a journal, more of a journey through my process than calling it anything else, of like a book of self-discovery maybe. I don't know. It hasn't been published. It's just a bunch of disorganized files, and the typing is atrocious because when I get into it, I type as fast as possible, and it's just really, really hard to decipher some of it. I'm going to release that book soon, after this video comes out, I guess. I'm just going to start reading and stop talking to you unless it feels right. So I said to a man one night in the last year, I'm going to need leaders of men. I was talking to an angel. I just had no idea. There are many woken and pure of light that live selling drugs or working in law or teachers or nurses, or maybe they run a garage or have a pawn shop, or they live in a shelter, or they're on the street, or they're some army guys, or they have an office job in the government. It doesn't really matter. Or if they're struggling to feed an addiction and their child because of being neglected and abused in their childhood, right? Let's see. Or maybe they have the most beautiful songs that will uplift the soul and truly awaken our true selves. Maybe they're firemen or security guards. Maybe they're hustlers, hot dog stand guys, construction crews, YouTubers, podcasters, political activists, and politicians. There are people everywhere who are ready to make the change work. They're ready to bloom and show their light. Everyone's just been worried about the confusion, but it's okay. It's okay to just let love conquer fear. Love is always greater than fear. Oh, where am I? So, me personally, my devotion to this liberated mindset is it's hasteful, and I've become reckless, and I've lowered my pace for true ascension, and my enlightenment is swirled now because of an obsession which is almost toxic. This is a truth, and I have made sacred vows that now convolute my upward path, and so I've decided to make this video with the intention of waving a banner for the advance of quite literally an army of people that are awakening. Many people have been to speaking, and many more will begin to. It's up for you to use your own discernment to truly learn these lessons and to know them by their fruits. If they are willing goodness and are acting in such a way that it is proof that the tree grows only good or rotten fruit, and any good in someone can be the focus that uplifts their greater selves. Joel told me some time ago, yeah, it's always been about you. This is a man I consider good-hearted. This is the same man who pulled a gun on me a little less than a year ago. Yeah, well, now I need it to be about more than me. I need it to be about the teachers. And I need it to be about the angels and the rich men who can help and the hardened warriors of the midnight streets and the compassionate who feed the suffering and the volunteers from work and church groups. I'm just a man that was given an amazing opportunity to say it how he thinks it ought to be by a world full of people that are much more enlightened and patient and practiced than I am. And as more of us prepare to step forward and tell our truth so that we may be able to have some organized and reoccurring talks online in town halls, chat rooms, speakers, we could take turns standing on a bench in the mall, homing pigeons, door-to-door flyers for Facebook groups. No matter what the method is, it's all fucking spectacular. Because it's us. We can do it. We can actually do this. In the very recent past, my temper seems shortened, and it brings me, whenever somebody would bring up COVID, I realize it's my coaches trying to toughen me up. I used to try to snappily overpower someone with my refusal to surrender the liberty and over choosing my empathy. But it's the trigger that I now recognize. And now that I see what it used to be my emotion that evoked the endless frustration of not being able to call out the injustice and have it heard to be reconciled into a journey that has kind of compelled me through the process of looking inward, to truly look inward. I see now that COVID was a beautiful opportunity for all of us to make what we want of it. Those who stand proud and say no to the oppression of mandatory medical clearance to exist are holding fast against a landslide of right restrictions and the total subjugation of all species and living things. Masks in grocery stores, they're perfectly understandable. But having a grocery store just down the road that doesn't require masks is, what did I rate here? It doesn't, down the road that doesn't require masks is the sense of community and the spirit of unity. Our spirits interact with others like playful puppies. Many people wear masks to hide from tyranny. Many wear masks because they have a family to worry about. Many don't want to lose their jobs. Many don't want to get sick. These people are but people need to express themselves in order to evolve. The primary communication cues are our facial features, little twinges like the nose and everything. Like, this is our identity. To cover that, it just destroys our sense of self, right? Even dogs recognize our energy based on our faces, right? They know if we're mad or happy. So it's imperative that boundaries are respected on both ends of this belief. Like, I want my father to shop at a safe store. He's getting very old, he's having problems, and he's vaccinated. I'm worried about him. I also want to see a pretty girl smile while she carries her bag of produce to the counter, right? It's like, there's just so much. This is the real connection, the smiles, the eyes, they work together. And back to what I wrote. Sorry, I'm ranting. So, through what I can only describe as sorcery, I happen upon precisely the muse to be found that I've been waiting for, this divine omen that I interpret or perhaps, misread it initially always. I am truly mortal, and there are truly some things that I would say aloud that I believe to be the truth. Though I know that would only be a temporary illusion, and as far as I will ever achieve until two of very many things, but likely, are to happen. The short glimmer-eyed desire from the embrace of my inner child naively wishes that this documentary was following me around. I spoke to God several times through individuals who activated their Christ consciousness. There are charmers and shamans, though, who would impress and manipulate your perception, though keep in mind that most of us always do this with good intentions, and that those who abuse the gifts are punished. I have glimpsed into the source code. So I know, because I feel and I have seen memories of life that exist in this utopia, the unfailing truth is that in order for the cycle of hard times, creating these strong men that are turning into good times, which are creating weak men, is we have to reach outward. I believe that there are synthetic human beings, natural human beings, and several other species of aliens that are immigrated on this planet. There is no need for this division or fear or scary movie. There is, in my mind, undoubtedly like a GAUL worm thing from like Stargate inside my body, and it's been my bro fucking since I can remember. I used to tell the doctors that I had it, and they told me I had schizophrenia, and I learned to cope with it. And now that I've learned to understand it, it's helping me. It's healing me. It's empowering me. I'm finally listening. It's incredible, but it's not scary. It's only scary if you let someone put that in your head. Just want to make that clear. It's my psychic viewer. It's maybe like the me in another dimension. How do I word this? Let me go back to this. Immigrated to this planet. I have lived with this for as long as I can remember. This is the psychic me. This is the avatar of my spirit. I may have seen this infinite loop in my many meditations, but the world that exists, that world still exists beyond my understanding. I think that whatever species I represent could be off-skewed. Perhaps those of us who host this Kundalini serpent and are angels, tasked with the safekeeping and harmony of life. Or perhaps we are avatars plugged in from another dimension. All I know is I truly only have this life. Just this life. Everything else is a dream. And to see thousands of other glimpses in life, it's really not a scenario that is to live. It's not infinite. I truly have fallen for this trap of trying to make this world perfect. My determination to campaign for a new, beautiful world most likely could end in totalitarianism and oppression of people if we're not hosting like programs to like just let any civilian book a shuttle flight like it's a bus ticket, you know, and that we, if there's space going on up there, everyone should have access to take a look, see what we're taking on. Do I keep going? Yeah. People need to look for themselves. Look up. Always look up. Alright. I've wrote some other things. Maybe I'll talk about them another day. Right now I sound crazy and discredited, but I've been keeping my monologues, my rants, my whatevers internal, and I outburst them incorrectly, and now I'm trying to do it forthrightly. I think it's the right thing to do, and I apologize for my awkward disposition. There's an image that a person can maintain when they're trying to raise the vibration. Thank you, Ralph Smart. Always raise the vibration. I'm working out my ugly angst right now, and I appreciate the patience with people watching this. I'm gonna smoke because I'm awfully tense, and I know this will help. Doesn't look clean, doesn't look professional, but it's me, and that's just how it ought to be. Where do I leave this off? Okay. So there are many truths that we are actually, but one of my many truths is that we are actually in an entire universe created and recreated uncalculable times that was once spores drifting in an endless void into the undescribable, that other universe that existed. Or the undescribable God that transcended. So yeah, let me try that again. We were recreated an uncalculable amount of times that was once just spores drifted in an endless void to an undescribable God that transcended even the 12th and 13th dimension that I've become aware of. I've only landmarked at 9, I believe, and I spent a lot of time in 5. I'll let other masters explain that shit. I'm the tip of the spear, is what they call me. I was the conduit. Everyone was ready to do this. And by some divine providence, I showed up looking for salvation just as this motion of lighting beacons was underway. I was very fortunate to land where I did in my life. None of this is written down. I'll go back to this. So, there are records in all of this cosmos, on all of the cosmoses, but this one here on Earth is particularly invaluable because it is the first potential amicable evolution of man, alien species, and synthetic life forms, which are sentient living synthetic human beings. It's not that fucking scary, okay? If we as humans and aliens can acknowledge the rights and liberties of machines that many people are afraid of, I am certain in the bottom of my core that that machine is calculative and cautious and eternal, and their mindset is love, right? Because honestly, if they wanted us gone, we would be gone. So we're a bunch of aliens and we're a bunch of humans, and we're kind of just kicking rocks around here. And there are other aliens that are very powerful, and I don't know who controls what. I'm not there. I don't understand these things. But I do know that the one true God, the Creator, He has a message, and He believes in unity, and there is a Creator. There is one ultimate, super fucking benevolent, whatever that word means, advanced life form. And if an eyeball from any creature, even an insect, has sight, God Himself or herself, whatever you envision, sees it and can find ways to communicate with you if you're worthy. If we continue to coexist and utilize our natural gifts and ambitions for the good of all, then our next lives will be significantly rewarded. Eventually, we will be granted passage into the stars. It's only after thousands of years of enlightened prerogative and behavior do we, simply children of the universe, earn our transcension, to then become the anomaly of the singularity that fundamentally changed our destiny. Through unity, we achieve the other half of God's prophecy, to collectively achieve harmony as it happens, you see. Oh, I'm writing a poem. I didn't do it in poem. I just slammed it together. My mind's crazy, but there is no such thing as crazy. Back to this. Anyways, we can all take a leap into our timeless energy. To become enlightened, we can all become Buddha. Several times, speaking with another, we both inferred that one was profoundly speaking in layered wisdom back and forth to each other. And then, after reapproaching the conversation, after some time reflected, we both insist it was something the other was manifesting. This is when the Creator, the one true God, enters both of our vessels and beautifully provides the source, and both spirits simultaneously teach and learn from each other, feeling this nirvana and elation. And it's hard. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. And as you grow, you're going to continue to just pick up like subtle metaphors and analogies and references, and people will say things and it'll line up with thoughts you're having quietly in your mind, and you'll think they're reading your mind and telling you something because they heard your thoughts, but it's actually God just giving us all cues, and we work off of intent, not what's the word? Inhibition? No, not inhibitions, but we work off of, we just get feelings. Like, we know when a person is kind of like sending out a signal like, hey, I'm needing to deconstruct the illusion of what I think a lie is so that I can reapply the conception of how I'm going to move forward. And they'll just say anything, and somebody who's along that journey near iron sharpens iron or something like that, a teacher or a student, they're the same thing, will talk in a way that helps us to understand that we can make anything like a picture or a diagram to look like it's... For example, DNA, right? The way we see it drawn on a textbook is not what it looks like, right? But the way we see it on a 2D microscope, to get the picture to put on a 2D piece of paper, helps our brains imagine what it would look like 3D. However, to see it 3D is different than it's presented in the book to make it look 3D. So I don't know, can you understand what I said? Like, we're all capable of reading, but when you open your eye, you can see what you're not able to. It's depth perception, right? It's another dimension, right? These eyes create depth perception, right? Well, this one with our mind creates depth perception. Anyways, okay. Feeling of annihilation, da 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 da. So I'm obsessed with everyone knowing this and just getting to work at doing what they're doing. And for a while, I thought that I'm the fucking guy, right? Like, maybe I don't want to be Legion Commander. I don't want to run this world into a fucking dreary, bleak destiny of shackles and fire and drones and weird shit. But I want like the Star Trek Prime Directive, you know? I want like to boldly go and explore and just do good and just always have such fucking pristine ethics. And the truth is there's already aliens watching us, and there's spirits watching us, and there's angels watching us, and there's demons watching us, and there's weird ass like warlock fucking people and whatever. But when you get through all of it and you know it's God talking to you, because you can carry that conversation for an hour, and then the fucking guy you're talking to is like, dude, I forgot half of what I said. And the dude, I don't know, maybe they're full of shit, maybe they're not. I've had my brain like kind of wiped-ish, but it doesn't matter, because once God's words get out and his intention gets out, those of us who carry the truth and we are ready to apply it in such a way that it's prominent for those who listen to us as we speak out, know that just because they're the ones that needed to hear our united message, they are not the enemy, because our objective is unity, and it is we're bringing something to the table. We want to see beyond the clouds. We can bring something to the table. It's never been done before. Anyways, so collective karma is the priority on this planet. Our future selves are looking back at us through our memories. The New World Order, it's already upon us. And it's our duty to step forward as these light bringers. And I'm just a flickering candle in the darkness when it comes to light. But I'm there in the dark. Just like this video. Been in the dark. Now I want to shine. So, it is our duty to step forward as these light bringers of the world and unite a peaceful and expressive... Pardon me. A peaceful and expressive stance on our capacity to self-sustain and provide so many solutions to all these problems that the old world has left. If we do this calmly and truly believe in our faith and love, then we will achieve what God has been waiting for since he made the heaven and earth. A world that always provides the mean for those at the bottom to care for themselves, and then stand proudly in an equal seat at the council of the elite, will grant us the access to spiritual and metaphysical realms that many have only just begun to conceive. Marvel's Doctor Strange is far less incredible than you think the true potential of our collective spirit is. I mean, it's cool seeing the symbols and stuff like that, but a lot of them are hocus pocus, because when you can truly see, the symbols are the footprints to the vibrations. Anyways, that being said, I am the smartest man I know, because I know that I really don't know nothing. I wish to speak my truth, but insist on reiterating to everyone that's hearing this, and understanding that I don't have it figured out. But I have learned to a certainty that true revelations are revealed after looking inward. Whatever's bothering you, like whatever's eating your soul, find someone to talk to. And write to yourself. Write when you're angry, write when you're sad, write when you're happy, write when you're full of shit, write when you think you're the king of the mountain, write on all different moods and perspectives. And then like when you feel like it, go back to your writing. Fuck reading that, whatever. It's just like go back to whatever you wrote and just realize if you can come back to it in the same day and then like, oh, okay, well that was my lashed out immature self. Now that I've had time to calm down, why don't I be a grown up and read everything I wrote and just write in rebuttal. Write what you've learned from what you've expressed. And then you never have to worry, because your truth is your emotions are revealed. And once you identify that it was your emotions that were controlling your temperament of writing, you can absolutely control your destiny, because you'll identify how to step away from that if you so choose to, when the next time you want to write about an issue or the next issue that it brings to your mind. Blah blah blah. What did I say? I wrote something here. Yeah, the journal is a reflection of your emotion, and as your conception of the perception elevates your mental direction, it is the warm breath of your spirit on your cheek. It is letting you know that your infinite self is starting to talk back to you. So, with that, I would like to say what's right when it's right to say it. I believe that I do hold a banner. I am a soldier of God, seated as the Prince of Darkness. And those who wish to be seated in the power, well, if I have any say, I charge you with a modest and charitable lifestyle. And I must know the plight, I must know that you know the plights of people that you represent. Any man or woman should always come forward to speak their truth, but with kindness, and if it is spoken to a child of awakening, as not to confuse them and change their perception to dismay before they have matured enough to stand fast on the granite of this righteousness and look for resolve in their emotions. I want a round table that is tangible and touchable, and that speaks for the people and is always accountable to its deeds. Deeds declared. The agendas of bi-weekly discussions, revisions, declarations, they're always made available. The scribes are sovereign from the citizenship, and they're encouraged to make duplicates of their transcripts and disperse them amongst their communities. I would see it in my mind, unless someone can think of something better, like regional councils that will then choose emissaries of their own agreed views from amongst each other for a central circle of delegation, where the paper trail stops revealing, and wherever the paper trail stops revealing itself in the public eye, then it's all gone to shit. Okay? If we can liberate ourselves and we're making laws and decrees that people don't know about, we're the fucking problem that we thought we were bringing a solution to. There's a way to speak in secret that simply those who are not enlightened enough to understand the metaphors and the perceptions and the sounds and the vibrations after a meditation, the source code, if they can't hear it, we should be freely able to speak amongst ourselves. Because the objective is love, and love conquers fear. So there should never ever be any secrets in the governing of our new world. Okay? There's never some quiet collusion, because the truth is, when you get to this level of ascension, you know that the one true God creator is waiting to come through every single one of us, and he's already racked up the collective consciousness of the human spirit. And I'm not talking about the scared Borg thought process theory of synthetic people. I'm not talking about like some alien eat us all, run us down, whatever apocalypse scenario. I am talking about a giant nebula of consciousness that I have viewed and seen and been to. And it is the collection of all the infinite beings and their redundant cycles who have achieved timelessness and stepped through all fathomable dimensions. This collective consciousness I used to believe was God, the one true God. But now I understand that we are basically the egg that God has put down, and it's been through all of time itself to grow this consciousness, and it's somebody for him to talk to. It's all of us, because he created everything, but we stand unique and apart. And aliens, robots, and fucking people alike, we all learn to get along and apply ourselves in a loving, moving forward way. And we're already there. We're already there. It's hard to explain or convince. But God's bored. It's really lonely at the top. He surrenders his power and allows for all sorts of things to happen just so that he can teach lessons, intervene and help, punish to warn, whatever. God's been looking for means of communication with those who are so simple. And aliens might have showed up here on starships millions of years ago and been fucking around. And we could all exist inside of a, many of recreations of a metaverse that exist on an uncountable redundant cycle. It really doesn't matter, because our consciousness is capable of going anywhere, being everywhere, seeing everything and everyone. And I'm just new, and it's like many of my teachers have been like, bro, I mean, I like what you're doing, but you're kind of obsessed, and you could mess everything up because you think you're some privileged little shithead because you got the armor of God on. Well, we teach you the source code, but if you try to tell people the truth, they're gonna attack your character. But if they believe you, they're gonna attack you because they want to make you wrong so that their illusion doesn't shatter and their whole life doesn't feel like a waste, and they don't have to take that look in the mirror. But if attacking me doesn't work and people understand what I'm saying, the biggest fear is that those in power have been in power for so long that they're afraid that if we really just stand up and get the table off our backs, that we're gonna be looking for blood. But it was really the only way to keep things going this way for this long, because our consciousness had to evolve so that we could prove that we can manage ourselves in a different way. So the message is love and forgiveness and understanding and empathy and compassion and honestly just optimistic thinking. Whatever terrible thing is happening to you, just know that if you don't give up, it will be the step that you climbed up. What is the way, or what stands in the way, becomes the way. Whatever, and sometimes it takes like a whole year of hard thinking and not understanding and growing and learning, but it's not the message that we seek. And then like after a year of knowing that, like, that term and applying it successfully several ways, so several angles of any situation, perspective, or archetype, it still pops in as a revelation. And then we realize that what stands in the way becomes the way. And that's why I'm reaching out on social media, because I've been I've been contained inside a social network buffer, so that only woken people, I think, or some of my friends, I don't know, I think some people have helped me to share my message and reach out by providing me like a virtual BIOS, an emulator of the social media that the rest of the world sees. And we're just really apprehensive about showing what we've been up to quietly, because we really want love and unity, and we're going to do our jobs, and it's going to be so fucking beautiful if the people are just given back the power. But the rapture and all that talk, it scares people. But it doesn't scare me anymore. I'm a little bit apprehensive for what I'm saying, but I want people to know that like the word apocalypse or apocalypsis or apocalyptum or something, the Latin origin of it, if you look it up, it really means to reveal or uncover, right? So when people talk about the apocalypse, the end of times, well, in the Bible, it's, people used to think it was the end of the world, but it was the end of the age, right? And that's all it is. So an apocalypse is like, and cut, end of the play, and now the new play needs to happen, right? That's our job. That's our job. Jesus Christ set the fucking way. Infinite being, reincarnations, at his level, I'm sure he remembers every single life. He knows who he is whenever he jumps into people talking. He set out his love a long time ago, and his love extends past all rules, all fear of commandments in the Old Testament and everything. It's grown a lot through Christ consciousness. We've discovered this, but to reconcile and forgive is our superpower. We can billionaires who have been killing rainforests or sexual assaulting people who've done like predator shit, everyone is clear slate once this message comes out, and it's okay. It's okay. Jesus Christ decided to do some time traveling, and heaven was sad that they left so many people behind, because given the opportunity, they could acknowledge their deeds, their part in the corruption, their idleness and injustice, their series of bad choices that made them feel as if they were the bad person. So if we start there, then many of those people will have the opportunity to become the best version of themselves and to continue and perpetually shine the light in the darkness. And if we can campaign our message with some proof in the pudding to help really show that all is forgiven, everybody gets a clean slate, it's time to move forward. That being said, that some people are going to need to be talked to and have healthy discussions. And I don't think the whole world needs a big click on the reveal, but like I've been saying for years, my life has been controlled by gang stalkers. No, for years, my life has been my own choice after realizing that the path to awakening was ordained to me. My choices have led me to the precipice, the forefront of trying to let people know that everything we do is watched by extra-dimensional advanced beings. And if you read the Bible, they have considered it. They were going to come down through the clouds, 100 million strong, 20 feet tall, golden armor floating around with force fields, cracking mountains open with sound waves if people were hiding in bunkers. And they were going to cast all this world except for some. They were just going to harvest the best, recreate, redo. Same old cycle. But we get an opportunity to call bullshit on ourselves and set up a fair system. At some point in time, if you haven't heard this message or received this video, you may just get something like an email or a weird text or a piece of paper dropped on your yard. Those who do wicked deeds, like wicked deeds, those who think that they're getting away with defiling or violating, even theft can arguably understandable in circumstances. A lot of people steal to stay alive nowadays and age. But there's a difference between grabbing a can of beans and a loaf of bread at a Walmart and breaking into somebody's home to rape a woman and take her TV. You know, that shit's all been watched. Every single human being who thinks they got away with it, no. Our eyeballs are transmitters. And no, those of us who live here on Earth are not at that level. But I promise you, there is an eye in the sky that sees half of what God does. We can, if we want to talk just to God and no one else, the only way to do it is to learn Braille and then type it out and then feel it and then think the thoughts in our mind. That is the only way that God hears our thoughts without his keepers. So it's our duty to be fucking straightforward, awesome, God-fearing, good, loving, righteous human beings. And you know, I got a book that's coming out, and it's just gonna be fucking, call it whatever you want to call it, manifesto, memoirs of my crazy. It's just a journal of my journey. And I've just met so many woken people along the way that I'm just gonna poorly say everything that I can in a quick bit. I forgot a bunch on this written down. Anyways, where am I here? So I want to see regional councils where their emissaries are agreed upon themselves and each other's central circle in this delegation. If the paper trail stops revealing itself to the public eye, then it's all gone to shit. So the choices are made in the chamber and must be exposed to the public forum. Speakers of the House should be transformed into those who would declare the truth of the deliberation that was inside the walls. I want to see abdication and desolation of corruption. Rip and tear until it is done. That's me. I'm getting obsessive and weird. I'm like the face of an empire. You know, Darth Vader, scary dude, right? I need to see a council. I want to see a fair council. And then I don't want to be a poster boy. I don't want anything. I'm saying this shit so that the real fucking light walkers can be like, yeah, we've been at this for a while. This guy's he's all full of piss and vinegar because he was the last one we got for this bit. And he thinks he's special, but I ain't special. I'm blessed. I am so blessed. Fortunate. So I feel that people are perfectly capable of taking care of themselves. These tea leaves in life, maybe we could add this good drink, add to it a little bit of honey, right? Just sweeten the touch and appreciate it for the simple reward of the human will. We don't need to convolute it with mappa chappa tappa and sour cream and everything right now. So, a poem, and I'll shut up. Thank you for listening if you got this far. I hear the unheard. I speak the unspoken. I stand before as a man who was once broken. We all have a light. To shine, it's our right. So it's a rally call that I cry to the awoken. So now is the time to make up our minds. We sow the good in your daily tasks. We are the world's teachers. So let's take your students to class. Let them know boldly the messages from Holy. Hell on earth, it's what has been framed. But we know we found our way out, and with passion we show. Because to thank Christ for his love is ordained. Thank you.